I bought the Osmo Action 3 to be able to record my trips on foot, on my motorcycle and in my car, with the occasional swimming session in the pool or in the sea. I record these items not to be the best videographer of the moment using the most up-to-date envelope-pushing equipment and techniques, but for the sheer pleasure of creating visually pleasing footage that satisfies me while learning new techniques, etc. The same applies to all my other equipment, from cell phone to Canon to DJI drones, etc. What follows is my impressions of the Osmo Action 3. The Osmo Action 3 with battery weighs 145 grams. Without it is 111 grams. My helmet is 1750 grams, which is a tad on the heavy side. If I were to attach the Osmo Action 3 to it, I would have to carry almost 2 kilograms on my head for all day riding. That's a bit much, so I'll use a chest mount. The body of the camera feels good and grippy when dry, and it won't just slip out of your hand. It feels like quality. I'll most likely use this mounted on something like a tripod or a handle as opposed to just holding it in my hand, because it will give me more control. The left side button switches on and is shared with the quick switch. It needs strength to activate. You must press holding for a moment. Actually, this is good. It won't accidentally switch on in your pocket. Fortunately, there is the top right button, which when pressed immediately starts taking a movie. Pressing again switches off. The initial registration was a bit of a pain, but after the third try I got it to work and there was no scanning involved. Settings are plentiful and easy to operate. Many of these I personally won't use, much like the bells and whistles thing. When it comes to the controversial focus issue, compared to the Pocket 2, this one comes in at about 4th. My 15-year-old Canon of similar size comes second, and my Huawei cell phone is first place. That said, the picture quality is surprisingly good for me. Refer to my cave adventure video. The voice commands are a great feature. It works a treat for me, but sometimes I'm probably too soft-spoken and must repeat the command. Due to computer constraints, 1080p at 30 frames per second works best for me. With my Mini 2 and my Pocket 2, I can view my footage directly from the Mini SD card. With the Action 3, I must first view the footage through Memo, and the footage I want I must render through Shotcut or using VLC Player. Transferring the files to my laptop using the USB-C cable works quite well. With regard to the picture stabilization, well, I have a gammy leg, so my gait is not so good. Regardless of which setting I use, I still get the bounce effect. Same as with my Pocket 2. I don't really use sound much. So far, outdoor sound really consists of wind noise and doesn't compare with the Pocket 2. In testing the sound, I pronounced this aspect to be not worth it. I even tried pairing with the Pocket 2 do-it-all microphone, which didn't work at all. I couldn't get it to connect. But then this is my action cam, not a vlogger. The magnetic mount is great, but as with any magnet, north repels north. Be sure to mount the attaching clip the right way round, DJI logo facing the subject to be shot. Detaching can be an issue if you have large fingers. The winged screw for attachment from DJI only has 2 big wings, whereas the GoPro type screw is more of a 4-gnarled shape. Getting my finger into the space to press on the magnetic clip did not impress me, so I'm going to be using the GoPro type where it's an issue. The camera is easy to use once you're familiar with the setup, as the same as with any other piece of equipment. By attaching the camera to your PC using the Type-C USB port, an automatic menu appears when switched on, giving the option to transfer files or to use as a webcam. You do need software. I use Pluggable and it works well. I like the effect that I can play back the footage in Memo. Only thing I could wish for is that the pause button was not in the center of the screen. But here's a tip. While playing back, touch the screen anywhere next to the pause button to hide the button. Otherwise, the Memo app is useful. One of the main issues for me was the overheating of the camera. and I'm happy to say that I used it today on a relatively warm sunny day, 21 degrees Celsius, as my dash cam suspended upside down behind my interior rear view mirror. After a trip of about 3 hours, 110 kilometers, the camera was pleasantly warm. I had it set to 1080p hyperlapse, and I still had 41% battery left. Overall, I'm impressed with the Action 3 and would recommend it as an action camera.